I just thought I'd give another update on my Becoming Crew learning marathon before I head off grid for 10 days to a bit of feral living on the coast of northern Cornwall, which I'm very much looking forward to. But yeah, I thought I'd just do a quick update for those that might be curious about applying. I'm recording this in one of my favourite ancient woods, very close to the city of Bath. It's a short sort of stroll out of the city, and this is actually going to be somewhere we will spend some of day 2 of the kick-off weekend of the learning marathon. We'll spend in this wood, and I just saw 2 kestrels like chasing each other, making this kind of very high-pitched sort of squealy, screamy sound. Just went past it around me as I was sitting down. I'm not sure like if they were like it was a love thing or a kind of like fight thing or a territory thing. Who knows? This is why it's good to come and sit in the woods or sit by a river or sit by the sea often, daily if you can, because it opens us up to all these other kind of interestingness. If you're up to speed, we're theming this 6-month peer-supported learning journey around the theme of becoming crew, of how do we step into service now with all of this shitstorm going on around us. It's time to step into service, to become crew on this living earth. So what does that look like to seek to regenerate life, to seek to become more in service to life with the work we're doing, with our roles? What does that look like? What does that feel like? How do we do that? How do we become life-centered, life-giving in what we're doing? That's the essence of this learning marathon, and the invitation is to bring your own mission, your own learning question, which might be related to a venture, it might be related to a personal desire to show up differently, it might be related to a societal challenge. It's probably, in the spirit of this theme, going to relate to all of those things, because we're not separate from all of this stuff. It's kind of part of the problem around the mess we're in. People have started applying, which is really awesome, and lots of people reaching out for the pack. And this week I've been running short calls with people that are curious about applying but wanted to just have a chat first, and they've been super fascinating, and I thought I could share a little bit of some of the themes that have come up for people, because I'm guessing that I've spoken to, because I'm guessing those might be themes and questions that others have as well. First thing that's come up quite a lot after I've been chatting to people this week is this idea of a learning question. What is it? Do I have it? I'm not sure I've got it articulated, etc, etc, etc. Now, you can find loads of information on this Enroll Yourself methodology, exploring your learning with a learning question. Again, in the links that I've put in the post, you can find a whole heap of information on a learning question. There's actually a little fun little web app which also helps you start to play with what your learning questions might be. Basically, they're going to be questions that are really alive for you, right? And again, they might be connected to a personal desire to do something, a scratch you want to itch. They might be an organizational thing you're working with. There might be a societal issue that you want to tackle. As I said before, on this Becoming Crew theme, my sense is that they will probably be questions that cut across all of those things, because this is, everything is interconnected. That's what we're dealing with. The point of starting to frame these questions during the application is to start to focus in on what this is going to be all about for you. But the nature of this inquiry is the first 2 months of this learning journey are going to be quite exploratory. We'll be encouraged to go wide, to look, to really look wide into what sits behind these questions, what's out there. And by 2 months in, you'll be honing in on thinking about prototyping. But the point is your learning questions will have evolved if you're actually engaged in the process. So have a look at the links on the information about what is a learning question. I guess the final thing to say on that learning questions is again, what I've been saying to people is, what's most alive for you? What are these questions that keep surfacing for you, keep coming back to? Because they're probably the things to focus in on. And there's a final phrase that actually Enroll Yourself use about a learning question. It's like having a thesis question without having to write an enormous essay. which I think is quite a nice way of looking at this as well. Some folks very clear right now, they know what they're trying to do with this. Others, actually the questions are alive, but they're kind of messy questions and deep and challenging, right? We're living in challenging times. Again, I just want to reiterate that we won't shy away from that on this learning marathon. We're very accepting of what is going on with the climate and ecological breakdown, what is going on with the inequality in our cultures, what is going on with the divisiveness. We're working with that. We're working from that ground, from that place of acceptance. So that means that you might not have clarity yet of the thing you're trying to bring into the world. Why would you at this moment? So what I'm saying is, if you do, great. If you don't, that's not a problem. One interesting thing that I've been noticing is that most of the inquiries are coming from women. So there are a few men that have reached out, but actually most of the incoming is coming from women. So that's quite interesting, and I'm not sure what's behind all of that. I've got a few thoughts, but one thing I guess I would say to men out there who might be thinking, God, I'm curious about this, but I'm not sure it's for me. And what I would say is reach out. There is 2 weeks till the deadline. I'm going off grid for the next 10 days. You can access everything you need to dive into Is This For You through the link in the bio that I've suggested. And also you can link through to calendar and book a call with me from the 10th. Book a slot in, and this is what people have been doing all this week, and it seems to have been pretty helpful for folks. So if you're a man who is curious about, has a project or an idea, or is really feeling the need to step into service right now with everything that's going on, but you're not sure about this kind of process, but you're curious about it, book a slot, get in touch. I'm happy to chat with you and, figure out in half an hour some of the blocks you might have. And don't be shy, reach out. Come on, the boys. And just to say, this process, we're going to be creating a really safe kind of space ongoing for this work over 6 months. It's going to be a space where you can go deeper, where you can really inquire into what is rising for you at the moment, what are the fears you might have about bringing things into the world, and the direction that you want to go in. This space will be really safe and open and trustworthy, and hopefully to unlock your potential to regenerate life, which is what we need. Another thing that's come up for a lot of people, which has been really interesting, I thought I'd share with you, is the fact that lots of the conversations I've had this week, people are like, I'm really drawn to this, not just for the theme and what we're exploring, but the accountability, the idea that I'm committing to a process which is going to keep me accountable to keep working on this stuff, keep working on myself in a world that's very easy to just get distracted or to feel like, I've got no time. And so something that's commitment focused. And I just wanted to reiterate, the spine of this work really is every 2 weeks. It's an evening session we'll be doing, 3 hours online. And that will be the real backbone of this process. With the 12 of us on it, there'll be 12 of those sessions over the 6 months. And each one of those sessions will be designed and curated and led by each one of us in the crew. And so that way we'll have 12 really different perspectives on from content and ideas and experiences, 12 views of what we're confronted with right now and different ways and ideas to evolve. That is what I think makes this learning marathon so interesting compared to other ways of learning, because we're going to be learning a lot about ourselves through listening to other people's views. And we're going to get this really rich, diverse range of stimulus and inspiration and provocation, which makes stuff way more interesting. As nature does, we need that diversity. That's what creates healthy ecosystems, diversity, different flavors, different ideas, different looks, different fields. And so a little bit of that will come through this process. So yeah, I think that's the sort of main update I wanted to give. So just to say, the deadline for applications is the 13th of August. That's in 2 weeks' time. You can find all the information you need through the blog post link, which you can link to in my bio. That'll give you the pack, that'll give you all the films I've made. It gives you the learning question generator. It will link out to the application and all the stuff you need to dig deeper into this for you. So I'm going off grid for 10 days, but the calls will be back on from the 10th. You can book one via the link in the blog post. Anyway, enjoy. I'm going feral for 10 days and I'm going to jump in the ocean a lot, hopefully. So take it easy out there. Peace and out. Till next time.